This is your sleepless guide with something new. And I know you might be like, what about other no, something new. What if Jason Todd bartered with a demon? So, let's lay down some backstory. Let's lay down some concrete before we start it up. Because I always like to lay down some stuff before I start anything. First things first. Jason Todd's and Dick's relationship of becoming Robin is incredible. Their family bonds are incredible. Dick's and Batman's relationship is strained, but not, not as harsh. Especially because, when Dick died, when Jason died, yes, Dick died. When Jason died, uh, Dick had to go back to Gotham to save it because Batman was not in the right mental state at that time. Number two, Robin is not passed down by Batman. Robin is passed down by the next person who was Robin. So when Dick left to become Nightwing, he passed that Robin role down to Jason. It's not a Batman thing. It's whoever the last Robin was thing. Number three, it took 5 years for Batman to get another Robin after Jason's death. 2 of those years were just him mourning Jason's loss and getting back into the groove of things. 3 of those years were just him being by himself and trying to understand and trying to figure out what the way he fucked up. Like I always lament, Jason Todd is not Batman's biggest failure because, Jason died and because, blah blah blah. But it's Batman's biggest failure because Batman let Jason die. On his watch, on his style, he could have saved Jason. He knew he could. But he didn't. And he failed. That's why he's Batman's biggest failure. Number 4. Yes, the Lazarus Pit still brings people back from the dead, but it has to be a recent death. It has to be like 4 months. Then they toss the body in. When Jason was dead, it was already too long for the Lazarus Pit to work. So they had to do other options, and they made a deal to bring Jason back from the dead. And number 5, yes, Ra's al Ghul still bring Jason back from the dead. He just did it in another manner than, Lazarus Pits. Now, let's start the what if. Jason remembers dying. He remembers being beat to a bloody pulp. His ribs broken. His body bruised. His mind fucked up to the point that he doesn't even know what's up and down, what left and right. All he remembers is he clawed his way to his mother to save her. Even if she didn't save her back, even if he didn't save him back, even if she was just a bitch to him, he tried. Because that's what he was. He was hard-headed and stupid, and he wanted Batman to think of him like that, and wanted Dick to be everything he could be, so he took punches sometimes that he could have dodged and just dealt the damage that he wanted to do. But Jason's now dead. And he's sitting up with a person, with a thing, with a monster, it seems like a demon. And he's sitting in a chair. Not chained, not anything. And the demon says, "You lived a difficult life, haven't you?" Yes. Yes, I have. Well, I understand that completely, honestly, but like, I'm not gonna torture you or do anything to you. I'm actually made a deal to bring you back. As Jason says, what do you mean? He says, well, with with a cost, with a trade. See how this place is run by souls, particularly evil souls. And the more we can get down here, the more we can get more power. The entire goal of you right now is to bring souls from that realm to this one by my cause. As Jason says, how? As the demon says, give me your wrist. As Jason hands him a wrist, as he grabs it, as he feels a burning sensation. Pain he can handle, pain he can understand. But this wasn't pain, this was suffering. True anguish as he drops down to his knees, not screaming, not shouting, just trying to control his body. As he finally felt it, he finally felt that pain go away as he feels a mark. When you kill another person, as he taps him on his head, as his eyes have changed, you get a little bit of fun things to happen. I just want you to know. You gotta remember. Well, let's talk about some stuff before we get up. As he hands Jason his hand and picks him up. Now look around. What do you see? As he sees numbers. Particularly, and he feels this urge to kill these people, kill these things. He says, you can't yet, but maybe later. Those numbers are what their technical count was. An evil a person is, the more their count is up. Evil can be represented by how much hell wants them down here. You're not allowed to kill good people, even if they threaten you, even if they blow off your head. You're not allowed to kill them. When you die, you end back here. As Jason hands him a dagger, and that dagger is filled with cursed energy. He feels it as he puts in his pocket. You have a couple of abilities that we would have to mention. 3-dimension. This, as he hands him his thing. This collects the evil souls. At this current point, it only collects 100. But when you use this to open what we call a dimensional portal, I'll suck up the souls. The ranking will go up to 200, and you keep on killing them. The more you give me, the more powerful I get, the more powerful you get. At this current moment in time, you also have a second ability, or technically 3 abilities, Eyes of the Demons, where when you look out to the present, you can see the numbers, the counts. The higher the count, the better. Kill those people. And the third ability, Copy. You're able to copy any weapon you touch. Takes longer period of time the more rare the item are, or anything really. Technically, you can copy a pencil. It'd take maybe a second. Or copy a gun, or a grenade, or a hellish tool. The more rare the weapon, the longer it'll take to copy, the less you also have. Bullets will be easy to put in, things will be less. But guess what? The only thing you have to worry about now is killing people. Now, go back. Have some fun for me. As he grabs his body, as he feels it come back, as he wakes up, and he looks around, as he sees men in black cloaks, swords, as he sees soul counters, some with 10, some with 5, some with 6, some with 100, some with just barely 2, and a kid and a baby, who is so holy and is so grateful that his eyes almost blank out, but he grabs one of their swords and rips off one of their heads. As one of them tries to grab a gun, as Risholko stops him. He says, "Stop, we just brought him back," as he cuts another one in half, cuts 2 more in half as he lands on his back, as he looks over, as he brings down the sword and smiles as he sees his flesh from the burns start to heal, as you see his body, even scarred to a brim, heals and heals as he looks up, as he smiles, as he cuts the guy with 100 on him in half. As now Ra's finally lets it go, and the Leagues of Assassins start to attack him, but it's not enough. That single night, he kills over 1,000 League of Assassins members by himself. Some with swords, some with guns, some with explosives, some with just burning it down, as the only people to escape that night alive is 5 League Assassin members who were counts were so they were basically green to the gills. Ra's himself and the baby and his mother. Ra's daughter. As he puts a bullet into one of their heads, as the tattoo on his wrist, green markers go through his body as he feels it pulse, 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 pulse. As his body's almost convulsing in some manners, and in others not as much, as he drops the gun and says, "Don't tell the bats I'm alive." Or as he points at Ra's daughter, "I'll come in for her next." He drops and runs as fast as he possibly can, breaking through the window and landing somewhere. And he falls. And this is where we go into more elements into characteristics. It's just fun for me. I have fun. I have fun over here sometimes. But to understand this, he slowly starts to... Okay, you gotta understand that Jason Todd's understanding of crime is different in this one. It's not that, oh, we can control crime, because he knows some of crime will not be controlled and people will always fight back. And it's not we can kill all crime, because we can't. That's never going to happen. But we control the limits of the crime, the good and the bad. And he can see it. He can always see it. So what he does is he starts murdering like 50%. When a city gets to 90%, he goes in there. And what he says is clean up shop. He murders and kills until it gets to 50% or lower, like 49 to 50%. And he kills just enough people where the good and the bad are equal. He does this in Japan. He does this in not Ireland, England, Canada, Germany, France, Russia. He just goes around and does this. That's like his job description. And he gets stronger. And he copies more weapons, ancient weapons, magical weapons, even kryptonite. He gets to the point where he's been around for a long time. His name has finally, gone across the Union. The Red Hood. The merciless killer. As he finally ends at Bloodhaven. A crime-riven city at least, but only 75%. It's new crime. It's not old crime. As he goes to a familiar place. Well, not a familiar place for him, but a familiar person. As before even Dick enters the room, he knows someone's watching him. As he says, chucks a fucking a little circle device at him as he catches it. As he looks up at him and says, "Missed you too, brother." as this is where we're going to end off the video. I know it's a little bit shorter than the original ones, but it doesn't matter. I'll see you guys later. Remember, subscribe so you guys can get this up so we can make the Percy Jackson ones. But I'll see you guys later. And goodbye.